Hello, it's Scott here from Digital Puppets, and what this is something I've been working on over the last couple of days. It's a template puppet, and as you can see, this version I've got here is Keir Starmer. However, I've done it in a very simple. The reason I've gone for a simple cartoony look, something like you might have seen in the back of a newspaper years ago, you know, like the comic strips, kind of almost Beano-y looking, is that I can make complicated looking characters and I can do really detailed caricatures of people. But to do that would mean making each character from scratch, because everyone's eyes, mouths and nose and all that is very different. But the beauty of going with a style like this is actually you can keep the same eyes, you can keep the same eyebrows, you can keep the same mouth, and that's what takes the majority of the time to set up. You can even keep the same body rig. All I got to do is change the graphics around the face and maybe the clothing, and you've got a whole new character. So I can produce new characters super fast. And with this, I'd like to work on something, hopefully together, which is a bit like spitting image or 2D TV, where we can take celebrities and politicians and we can satire them. Now, the idea with this particular one I've got right here is you could take something like Question Time. You could get actual Question Time videos where you see someone in the opposition party asking a question, and it can be the actual footage of them, but when it cuts back to the Prime Minister answering, we will see this version instead of the cartoon version. As everybody knows, it's very rare that a politician answers a question they're asked. You know, someone will ask one thing and they will allude to something else and just completely sidestep the answer. So the comedy might be that when the question is asked, we will give the real answer. You know, what would a politician say if they were being brutally honest, and do so in a comical way? And it doesn't just have to be Question Time. We could also have him stood outside 10 Downing Street and it could be questions from reporters, or it could be on the television, I forget what that's called now, where the audience members ask questions. And I think there's a lot of fun. And obviously it doesn't just have to be Keir Starmer. You could do Nigel Farage, you could do the new leader of the Conservatives, you could do Donald Trump, you can do anything. But it's a very quick, you know, I could imagine this being just, you know, little cartoon shorts that could go on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, and or obviously they could just go on your website. I'm just happy to work on this as something fun to do. Anyway, I've done a lot of different expressions and whatnot, so I'll show off how the character is working. I'm just going to turn all of this on, calibrate, and as you can see, I've given the character a kind of 2.D effect, so you know the face moves around a little bit. I've given them lots of expressions, so let's have a look at some of those. I've got this on my other monitor, but I'll be clicking all these different buttons. So we go, I'm looking happy, very happy, kind of a little bit cheeky, lots and lots, loads of different expressions. I've got about 20 or 30 here, and I can make even more, just to really convey every emotion possible. At the moment this is his like default mouth set, but I can change it to a sad default mouth set so that it's more of a turn down one. I've even got a happy one, so it's more of a shouty mouth set. And then I've also got a lot of arm movements, because when you're gesturing and talking, you're not just gesturing with your facial emotions, you're also articulating with your hands. You know, someone's asking them a question, you know, you can be pointing over, looking at them, thinking about his answer before he decides to tell the truth or a lie. Things aren't going right for him. This character can also walk as well. He's fully mobile, so you know I could have him storming off, or I could have him walking into shot, and we can do more elaborate scenes as well, so it doesn't have to just be this still. I've got virtual camera on this also, so I can do lots of different camera angles, zooming in. I can do all that, all very easy to do, very quick to make. hopefully this is something we could work on and have a lot of fun with for 2025. Bye.